Avalon, also known as the Pagan Planner, and creator and designer of Aurora and Avalon Creations. I am so excited to be back with paganpages.org. I used to write articles for them a little while ago. I had to take a break because I was at full-time school. And I'm so excited to be back with you and to show you what I'm doing with my planner. So just to give a little bit of background info on myself, I wasn't raised pagan, in fact, quite the opposite. However, as a child, I was extremely gifted as an empath. I channeled messages, could predict certain futures, I have very prophetic dreams. I kind of put this all aside when, you know, as I got to a teenager and as the adulthood hit. But then 5 years ago, I went through a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, incredible experience, and a lot of my gifts, or all of my gifts, came back to me tenfold. And over the last 5 years, I have dedicated my life to the Pagan Path. So along my journey, I decided that I would kind of write down some of the experiences that I was going through, because I was having dreams, I was having visions, and receiving messages from my guides. And sometimes it didn't always make sense. But then what I would find is that the messages would maybe come to fruition a little bit later, just as I've been told that they would. And so I kind of started a journal. That's where my whole planner obsession came in. So this was my actual first planner that I started writing in. And I would literally, when I'd go for meditation or go for walks and receive messages, then I would write everything down in here, and then I could go back and look at it go back and look at it once it had happened and be like, wow, that's incredible. That really did happen exactly as I was told it was going to happen. Or maybe it didn't happen quite as I thought it was going to happen. And again, to go back and reread it and to see how it did come about. So yeah, like I say, this was my very, very first kind of journal in a happy planner, and I loved it because it had lots of space for me to kind of like, I like the scrapbook style. That's how I started out. And then I started really looking into the Sabbats, okay? Because so what would happen for me, like I said, I was not raised pagan. But what I would find is as we were coming to new moons, full moons, Sabbats, then the energy would change for me, and I would receive different messages and different guidance, and I couldn't understand why they were happening on these specific days, and it would be different beings that would come and give me these messages. And so, for instance, one of the first ones that I connected with was Bloodaweth, who I did not know as Bloodaweth. But then when she came to me, that would have been around the time of Beltane. And so these were the experiences that awoke me to paganism. And I have to do a lot of research to find out why I was being shown these things. And anyway, so I would write them down, write down the energies, and then I'd go research what was happening around those dates. And that's what led me on this path. So, like I say, this was my first journaling style. Then I really, and I really loved this, but I found that I wanted to do something slightly different. And so I started journaling more into like a rings binder, and tried to make a sort of grimoire of sorts. So this is how my grimoire started out, and I had tabs down the side, and then I would go through and do all the, like when the moons, I would write down the moons, and then kind of like do my release ceremonies for the full moons. I write those down, and then I would do the same with new moons. So I'm just going through a quick flick of how my setup was. So I'd have some printed material, and then I would handwrite a lot of my stuff as well. So that is how I started off with my grimoires, and I love doing it this way. And of course, ever evolving has kind of led me to my new planner that I'm working on, which is, again, it's a rings. It's a larger rings, and I'm going to show you a little bit further down the line some of the pages that are in here. So I've moved more into digital planning. So this is where I design everything on my computer, and then I print it out and put it into my planner. And so that's what we're going to take a peek at today. So today we're specifically going to be looking at midsummer and summer solstice. So let's have a peek inside, shall we? One is kind of like my current favorite. It's an A5 Foxy Fix that I've had for a couple of years now, and I just love it. As you can see, I also use it as my school book. And the design that we've been working with, that you have become familiarized with, is the Midsummer design, and it comes as a pocket. And I have, you know, a number of little sheets in there. I'll maybe show you those later. But let's have a quick peek. I am gonna go to the Midsummer page, but just as a sneak peek, I'll let you have a little look at what some of the things I have done in here as well. So I do have calendars in here, but I have like a little book of moons here, and I have started the Celtic Tree Zodiac that I haven't completed. I'm really looking forward to finishing that up in the next coming months. They were a lot of fun to put together. So I say just a very quick flick, and then yes, some diary journals, habit trackers, different energies that come through. I've actually started like a little crystal planner. Okay, getting there. I'm sure these are topics that I can cover in another time, but here we go. This is what we were discussing today. So let me show you my midsummer plans. So I have digitally, as I mentioned before, I've digitally planned them, and then I print them out, and then I keep them in my journal. And so for on this page here, I have a lot of artwork, but I also have kind of a little bit of the background history to midsummer, and you know, some of the beliefs, some of the rituals that we tend to follow. It's fun to hear the history behind them. So I have that on this page, and then this one is more the personal aspects of it. So I have my ritual that I have written out what I would like to do. So I've written down that I would actually like for the weekend that this falls on, which is like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would really like to go away camping, so I'm planning that out right now. Maybe have a fire pit, burn some sage, and set some intentions for the coming season. And probably prior to going, I will bake some midsummer cookies. And I have like the recipe going down the side here. I have a little quote, June is the gateway to summer. Beautiful artwork here. As you can see, she's holding like a pillar with fire, kind of reminiscent of kind of like elven days. I really enjoy that. Here's my little supply list of things that I would like to pick up prior to my ritual. So I'm looking for and picking out some sage that I'll probably burn on the fire, some citrine crystals, a white candle, and I might make an oak wreath or some sort of decor. I'm really lucky because I have 3 oak trees right outside my house, And so I'm probably going to gather any foliage that might have fallen, or some of the acorns or the little caps. I think those are really cute. And then up here, I have like a little, kind of like a little wish, like a blessing that I'm hoping to come to fruition. And then of course, so mote it be at the end there. And then on the back page, what I've done is I have a page for my thoughts, my intentions, or any guidance given, because I'm sure it's very similar for a lot of you. In the days leading up to Midsummer, and maybe on the day itself, the energies will change, they'll shift for me, and I'll be able to feel that within my body, and different thoughts will come to me, different inspirations, guidance. And so here would be my space that I will write this down with my own hand at that time. So that is just a very brief look at how I plan some of the Sabbats. And I look forward to, maybe in the next few months, showing you how I have planned for some other future Sabbats. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm hoping to continue this series by showing you how I plan for the full moon, new moon, and other Sabbats. If there's any other topics that you would like me to cover, please send a message. I would be more than happy to do that. You can also find me on Instagram at the Pagan Planner, or at my shop, Aurora and Avalon Creations. I have designed something for you that Jennifer is going to be putting up on the paganpages.org. It's a free download of a little sampler sheet that I hope that you might enjoy. Much love to you all. Bye-bye for now.